Now, if you lived in the 1400s, were wealthy, you liked extreme sports, it wasn't a case of skiing or bungee jumping. Instead, any self-respecting knight would have headed to what they called the tilt yard for a spot of jousting.
Well, at Carisbrooke Castle on the Isle of Wight, they've been hosting a full-scale medieval joust in the grounds. Jousting was the way that medieval knights showed off their skills on horseback, and now modern audiences can enjoy the spectacle too.
Bryony Leland's been there today, and we can join her now. Bryony, this was a bit like the Premier League football of its day, wasn't it?
That's right, Sally. The best knights were big stars, and it was a sport which attracted big money too, with fine horses and fine armour. Carisbrooke Castle here would have hosted medieval tournaments, and now it's doing it all over again. This bowling green here transformed into a tilt yard. The red zigzag over there is where the jousters charge down at 30 miles an hour, thrilling the crowds and bringing history to life.
It's a journey back to a more colourful, if less gentle time. A time of knights and squires and very shiny armour.
Young squire, put this on for me.
Sir Edward Stacey, otherwise known as Stacey Evans, has been jousting for 13 years and is one of England's most successful 21st century knights.
We go all around the world competing against other people. This is the Formula One of jousting. This is the highest level of jousting that you can get. So all these suits of armour are very, very highly spec'd. They range between sort of 7 to 25, 30,000 pounds, and they're all made to exact copies of the originals.
The horses who carry the jousters are specially bred and highly trained. This stallion comes from a long line of Italian medieval war horses, the Mergays.
An old type of breed that's related to the old medieval Neapolitan horses, one of the most popular horses of his day.
The joust started as a military encounter with steel-tipped lances and evolved into a contact sport, which all those involved here make as authentic as possible, even if the lances are a little less deadly.
The riding is to learn, just as modern martial artists do, it's control your fears, control your excitement, and focus it all onto the point of a lance, which you then aim at your opponent's shield. Having to deal with all that and a very excitable horse underneath you requires a lot of skill and training.
And just as the knights of old won admirers, today's jousters have won the crowds too.
It's pretty amazing. How difficult do you think it is? Well, as their armour weighs about the same much as me, very difficult. Having them crash together. It's really funny.
What did you like about it? I like seeing these great big strong men trying to control feisty horses. I thought they were very impressive. Well, I'm very happy customer there. The visitors have gone home now. The knights, though, are still here because they'll be camping out in the tents here overnight. Now, we had a little bit in my report there about the armour, the harness as it's known. It's made of steel. Thank you, Squire Simon. It's very, very heavy. This is Sir Edward's helmet with just a 5mm gap there through the visor. Hopefully not large enough for the large job. Thank you very much, Simon. With me is Dominic Stewart, who we saw in that report. This is very specialised stuff, isn't it, this armour?
It really is, and geographically so. Edward's armour here is a Milanese export armour that's designed for the Burgundian market, so it travelled quite a way.
And it protects every part of his body?
Just about every part of his body, apart from his inner thighs and his backside, which he needs to ride the horse.
So those are his vulnerable areas. Over here, two beautiful horses. You're very proud of the horses that you have here. What makes them so special and so good for jousting?
Well, what we try and do is make the horses as authentic as possible, so we use the type of breeds that we used back then. And for example, this Spanish horse, famed right throughout history and ridden by princes, dukes and knights, famed for their bravery and their courageous nature, but also their great trainability and real affection for human rights.
They move beautifully, don't they?
Yes, well, we try and train them all in classical dressage, so they're able to do all the side passes and airs that you would expect a knight's horse to do at the time.
And this kind of revival started in the 70s, I think, and it's really picked up pace, hasn't it?
Absolutely. It's something that's now worldwide. There's jousting that happens in Australia, America. Some of the guys who are jousting here today have even been jousting in Russia. So it's a fantastic way to bring the whole community together.
So really the 21st century knight's getting a big profile, just like the medieval one.
Exactly like that. It's fantastic.
Dominic, thank you so much for being our host today and showing us around. I know that you hope that they'll be here, same place, same time next year again. The tournament does continue tomorrow, where there'll be more activity here in the tilt yard. But for now,
back from Carisbrooke Castle to you, Sam.
Thank you very much, Brian. You've obviously had a very, very good day there. Enjoyed every moment of it. And I was just listening to that lady who was saying, "Oh yes, I like the men on the horses." You could do the Lancelot bit on the horse. Yeah,
Oh, I
you're
think
made for
that would be
jousting.
more danger for me, I think.
Give it a go.
No,
I'm not sure about
I'm a
that.
bit worried about just think, how do you see anything through that?
I'd be worried
gap?
about
But
his
it's so
splinters
tiny.
coming off the joust and going into that
You're
little
never worried
slit.
about anything. And you're not worried about anything. You like the challenge. Anyway, come on, what's the challenge of the weather for the coming weekend?
The challenge is it's quite changeable.